at the opinion polls. We want that old guy, Robert Dole. I've had it up to here with liberals. We need a president with principles, not a gigolo with no self-control. Give me that old guy, Robert Dole. I like that old guy, Robert Dole. Obama Clinton's about to lose control. So I'm saying on your radio, give me that old guy, Robert Dole. Here's a little downside called the New Hampshire Shovel. Mark those ballots now. Senator, may I borrow your pen? Call him a relic, say he's over the hill, but he's still better than that imbecile Phil. No sex and violence at his movie show. Vote for that old guy, Robert Dole. You'll never see him with a bimbo. No knees a knocking with a $5 hoe. Ain't got a prostate, but he's sure got a soul. We love that old guy, Robert Dole. Still like that old guy, Robert Dole. Bubba Clinton's about to lose control. So I'm saying on your radio, give me that old guy, Robert Dole. Give me that old guy, Robert Dole. Bubba Clinton's about to lose control. So I'm saying on your radio, give me that old guy, Robert Dole. We want that old guy, Robert Dole. Bubba Clinton's about to lose control. So I'm here saying on your radio, give me that old guy, Robert Dole.
Dan Rather, the managing editor and anchor for the CBS Evening News, is here with us with a Autobody Express turquoise buffalo denim work shirt on.
This is sad, Mr. Rather.
By the way, I should have mentioned, that's another reason I still think Bob Dole can win. He has been on the Imus in the Morning program. I just remember, Bill Clinton didn't start moving in the polls the last time until he appeared on Imus in the Morning.
That's a very good point.
If Bill Clinton doesn't come on Imus in the Morning, this thing will tighten down and nothing.
If your radio sounds fun in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Somebody has to do something about this. I'm on a soapbox about it, but next time we can do better. We can do a lot better. This group, this presidential, what I will refuse to call debate commission, controlled conversation commission.
Yeah, you just sound like a crazy person.
Well, I mean, the record is there. I mean, those things are not.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
How do you judge the best?
Hey, Bob Dole, what are you doing on Imus in the Morning? You running for office again?
Bob Dole's got a few choice words for the Iron Man, Beavis, saying all those icky things about Elizabeth.
Wow, first Larry King kisses his butt, now you're gonna kick it. Cool.
Well, Bob Dole's got a pretty good left hook. Not that it would take all that much to lick Imus.
Yeah, I'd rather lick Donna Shalala than Imus.
No. Bob Dole meant lick as in beak, not lick as in Ellen DeGeneres.
I wouldn't mind licking her, would you?
Bob Dole doesn't have a problem with lesbians, Beavis, just so long as they're fictional. But Bob Dole would rather not have to deal with the reality of Ellen's sexuality.
You sound just like ABC.
Well, Bob Dole thinks the network has the right to refuse to air that PSA. Bob Dole's not a big fan of Clinton's gay jobs bias legislation either.
So, like, it's okay for ABC to use Ellen for ratings, but not okay to help pass an anti-discrimination bill?
Bob Dole thinks that bill unfairly forces employers to have inappropriate on-the-job discussions about sexuality. Bob Dole's tired of having that stuff shoved in his face all the time.
I don't think you'd ever have to worry about Ellen shoving anything in your face.
Hey, come here, Beavis. Bob Dole's got something to shove in your face.
Ow, my eye!
Uh-oh. Bob Dole needs another pen.
Imus in the Morning News time is 6 minutes after the hour. Alphonse D'Amato and former Senator Bob Dole are both coming up this morning. There's a nice article.
Pathetic, grasping attempt to make anybody pay attention to him. America's nearly invisible billionaire populist, H. Ross Perot.
Larry, should I just take my pants off now and wave my butt at you, or should I wait till after I'm through? Well, I thought you used to plant those puff rider lips of yours on my tail end. What was that deal last week with you and that Amos fella? I thought the next thing we'd see was a bunch of firefighters running in there to hose you down and try to pry you apart with the jaws of life. I didn't know if I was watching the Larry King Show or Court TV showing videotape from the Aberdeen Proving Ground sex abuse case. First, we got to suffer through Ellen DeGeneres' coming out process, and now it's Larry King and Imus slobbering on one another. It's just sad. But let's move on. What's done is done, and if you two boys want to play poop pipe delight, that's your business. But it ain't world class, let me tell you.
No.
Just like this whole Ellen hype ain't. Since when did we set off road flares and throw buckets of confetti because somebody's announcing they're queer, Larry? And why the heck is it something that the Washington Post and the New York Times and all of them are so damned out of breath over they're about to faint? It's a poor lost soul announcing that she's a member of the 3% of the population that don't know what the good Lord intended their privates for. Anyway, back to my point. This DeGeneres deal is just another indicator of how far we've been stretched by a handful of self-appointed arbiters of behavior, telling the rest of us what we're supposed to swallow. Now, let me rephrase that right now. How much the rest of us is supposed to accept. Did you see DeGeneres on 2020?
No.
Jesus, Larry. For a minute there, I got confused about which one of them was supposed to be coming out. Ellen DeGeneres or Diane Sawyer. Anyway, Sawyer said Ellen was great, focusing on the issue of how she came to this conclusion about herself, how she got to this point. And we're supposed to be mesmerized by this stuff, Larry? How Ellen DeGeneres got from walking on the carpet to munching on it? Put me down for a world-class no on that one, will you? And one more thing about this political correct jive, Larry. President Clinton thinks a statue of FDR in this new memorial they're planning ought to have him in his wheelchair. Well, excuse me. Pandering, Larry, to another bunch of tree-hugging sob sisters. FDR took this country through the Depression and the Second World War with guts and a cigarette holder, and never once in a visible wheelchair like he was some sort of victim. And that's how he deserves to be remembered. Right here's your bumper sticker on that one. It was FDR who came through in the clutch. It's the Arkansas pant load that's the one with the crutch. And you can use that for your soundbite at 11, Larry. Or you can just bite me right down.
I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends.
Imus in the morning.
Now you're gonna...
A little bit later here. Speaking of old Willie.
Hello, all. How'd things go for you today? Don't you miss her? Since she up and walked away. And I'll bet you dread to spend another lonely night with me. But lonely walls, I'll keep you company.
Imus in the morning. I don't care if it rains or freezes, long as I got my plastic Jesus Christ on the dashboard of my car. I can go 100 miles an hour, long as I got the almighty power stuck up there with my parents 'cause he died. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Hi, friends. It's the right Reverend Dr. Billy Saul Hargis, God's other son. Yes, it is true. He has risen to walk among you once again. And now I can hear y'all saying, where the hell have you been, Hargis? And I'm saying to you, get out of my face, monkey breath. I'm here, you're queer. Get used to it. Now, friends, what's happened since I've been gone? Our nation has turned its back on Jesus. That's what's happened. From the future Pacific Ocean to the squalid shores of New York City, America has rejected Jesus and lost its way. We have become a society of sideshow suckers, wallowing in a sinful abyss of fools, mesmerized by the heathen acts of freaks. O.J. Simpson, Susan Smith, Ty Herndon, Timothy McVeigh, Hugh Grant, the Boys in the Hood, and Judge Kimball Wood. Little dirty mouse on your local radio, and a country of courtrooms filled with pathetic whining nitwits, blaming their murderous behavior on the imagined incidents of their trumped-up, tortured childhood. All at the hands of those who don't know what the hell they're talking about, friends. Yes, we've turned our back on the baby Jesus. We're giving condoms to children and they still get pregnant. Our solution is to kill the babies. We've elected a president who stands in the Oval Office with his pants around his ankles, pointing an accusing finger at a nation and a Congress with his head up its We abuse our women and violate our children. We watch tens of thousands around the world brutalized and starved to death while millions of Americans spend billions of dollars sweating to the holy shooby-doo, stuffing their fat butts into Bermuda shorts, worshiping a Nazi mouse at Disney World. Yes, we have lost our way on the road that leads to Jesus. Oh, wait a minute, Hargis. Did you say on the road that leads to Jesus? Yes, I did. Well, I can hear you now saying, Billy, if there's a road that leads to Jesus, how do I get on it? Lord, Billy, I am so ashamed that I am lost. Please lead me back to the baby Jesus. Well, friends, ain't this your lucky day? Because for now and for a limited time and limited time only, Billy Saul Hargis is offering you the road map that leads to Jesus. You're here, Jesus is there. You've got to get from here to there. It's a long journey, but it begins as a skinny little chink once observed with but a single step. Or in this case, cash or a credit card, sorry, no checks. Everybody say, now hold on, Jesus, I'm coming. And we should make that leaving shortly. Yes, friends, if you'll ride me now, Billy Saul Hargis, Del Rio, Texas, and order your road map that leads to Jesus, Dr. Hargis will include a holy, blessed picnic basket for your trip, filled with Billy's special delights, barbecued communion wafers, I bet you can't eat just one, Jesus of Nazareth, and of course, one sacred chicken to go, one with a heavenly glow, one that's delicious, one that's religious, so sacred it won't dirty your dishes. Right, my friends, order your road map that leads to Jesus. He's waiting, and yes, folks, the Son of God will leave the light on for you. Say hallelujah, or can I get an amen? If Jesus came to your house to spend a day or two, if he came without warning, I wonder what you'd do.
Imus in the morning. Good morning,
All right, here now the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of our nation, the Attorney General of the United States, the Honorable Janet Reno.
I'd like to begin a very brief statement with a remark directed to those urging that I name an independent counsel to investigate issues that have arisen over Democratic fundraising activities. Shut the up. I'll name an independent counsel when I'm good and damn ready to. Not when some fly-fishing fairy tells me to in a hand-wringing, choke-back-the-tears editorial in the New York Times. And aside the editorial whiner Hal Raines, here's hoping you get a royal coachman hung in your butt cheek way past the barb and have to back it out with a pair of vice grips. All right. Now then, in addition to that, pantywaist, some of the people in my own party have gotten jelly-spined over all this. Worst case, Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Well, who made you deputy anything, you washed-up old drunk? Do me two favors, would you? Sober up and shut up. I'll remind you and the rest of the wheedling rodents around you that I am the law around here and not you. I thought the freaks who cloned that sheep were in Scotland, but I guess I was wrong on that. They cloned them right there on the floor of the United States Senate. Dolly Moynihan, Dolly Feingold, Dolly McCain, and the rest of them losers screaming about a prosecutor, including Dan Burton over on the House side. Mr. House Government Reform Oversight Committee. Hey, Burton, oversee this. You want my tin badge? How about I take it off and pound it into your skinny little Indiana sissy girl chest, huh? I'll say it one more time and that's it.
Yeah.
There ain't no evidence. I feel your pain, McCain, but as of this moment, in the interest of preserving the domestic tranquility, not to mention my job, my position remains that the crazy bastard who's my president has done nothing. Sammy the Bull Gravano may have sold out John Gotti, but Janet Reno ain't selling out Bill Clinton. I'd remind you I run the Federal Witness Protection Program. I got no interest in going in it or being found face up staring glassy-eyed at the bottom of an antique howitzer in Fort Marcy Park. I ain't naming nobody to nothing. And if you think I can't back it up, I got just 2 words for you. Richard Jewell.
The preceding was a paid political announcement from the Democratic National Committee, a wholly owned subsidiary of the People's Republic of China.
Laura Ingham is here ostensibly to talk politics.
Yes. I'm concerned about Fred because I understand that he's not feeling well.
Leave my brother
And
alone.
I mean, Fred's not feeling well. Maybe he should stop drinking out of the dog's bowl. You know, that video phone that you guys have? I kept thinking I had bad reception at home. I'm like, God, that's a lot of weird fuzz. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's Fred's face.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
President Clinton, while he's at this fundraiser, challenged Republicans to end their solicitation of soft money and also apologize for his having to return money in the past.
Well, congratulations, Mr.
That's
President.
like Lyle Menendez apologizing to Eric Menendez for not getting the first shot off fast enough. I mean, give me a break.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Dole, have you actually written that check to Newt yet?
Not yet. We're working out the details. We're going to make certain that nobody will say it's a sweetheart deal. It'll be approved for anyone by any bank. And so we're working on details. Might have it done the next day or so.
You know what would really be funny? Write one that bounces first.
I won't have much to spare as it is.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Have you seen the Washington Post yet this morning?
No, I haven't.
Well, you're on the front page.
Damn it, well, never could make it when I was running.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
A day of celebration for Celtics fans. Good morning. Mike Rainwood Sports. They're rejoicing at the Fleet Center as ML Carr has stepped down as head coach of the Boston Celtics. Carr made the announcement yesterday.
I will long remember this season as one adversity, but one that guys stood together and stayed together.
And it's one season Celtic fans won't soon forget. The worst in franchise history. Carr's 2-year record, 48 wins, 116 losses. But he never lost a playoff game in his 2 years as head coach of the Celtics. Also out as head coach, Larry Brown of the Pacers said he didn't get it done this year and it's time to move on. You knew it wasn't happening earlier this season when Brown expressed these sentiments after a loss.
I want to jump off a building right now.
Perhaps a good thing that he leaves. Brown has already talked to the Celtics, will chat with the 76ers, and the Warriors also said to be interested. NBA playoffs last night, the mighty Chicago Bulls tested once again, barely won by just 1 point over the Washington Bullets, and Michael Jordan did it again. Air hog with 10 points in the final 4 minutes. As the Bulls overcame a 9-point deficit in those final 4, Jordan had 28. He shot 14 for 61 from the field. Come on. And he set a new personal playoff record by passing the ball twice in the first half. Bulls win the series 3-0. They'll now face the winner of the Detroit-Atlanta series. Also last night, Lakers failed to sweep. They lose to the Trailblazers in Portland, 98-90. Lakers still lead 2-1. And a sad ending in Montreal from the NHL. Canadiens coach Mario Tremblay resigned. The pressure became too much for him, not just at the arena, but at home.
I'm just a human being like anybody else. And I'm ready to take that heat. I don't have any problem, but there's how far the heat's gonna go. You know, this is only what I'm talking about today.
Very sad ending.
What the hell is he talking about, Breen?
I don't know, eh? And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
What were the problems at home? Mike?
I don't know.
It's 25 after the hour. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina, and here now the Imus Morning program on work release from the State Nervous Hospital, Billy Bob Thornton.
I reckon you want to know what I'm doing here in Raleigh.
Yes.
Some people call it a triangle there. I call it Raleigh. Named for that English feller what took off his fancy cape, put it over a mud puddle so the lady could walk across the street without getting her feet wet. Well, I reckon I'm here for the radio station. AM 850, The Buzz. They said they'd give me some biscuits and mustard if I'd go on the air with the Imus feller. Seemed like a pretty good deal. They said he was hard up for guests. Wasn't nobody interested in Raleigh for him to interview. So they thought a mental patient might be good for him to talk to. Somebody with something in common with him. Well, anyways, I was walking around Raleigh last night. Didn't get my feet wet. Didn't find no man with a fancy cape neither. Except for a couple of fellers down at this bar they call CC's. There's quite a few of them down there wearing fancy capes, blouses, them little T-shirts that shows off your belly button. One of them even had on a gown and high heels. They was laughing and dancing and having a big old time. I asked one of them what was going on, and he said it was a coming out party. I heard of them, debutante balls. Some people call them coming out parties. I call them debutante balls. I asked the feller in the gown if he was the one coming out, seeing as how he was all dressed up so pretty like that. Well, he just laughed. He said he come out years ago, and although he considered himself a debutante, and he did have balls, he said it was a coming out party celebrating that Ellen DeGeneres show, the one where she says she's gay. He seemed like a real friendly sort of feller. Asked me what I was in town for. I told him I was here for the Buzz. So he stuck something under my nose. Almost made me sneeze. Then made me a mite jumpy. He asked me if I was gay. I said I was relatively happy. A lot happier since he stuck that thing under my nose. He said, I got something else I want to stick under your nose. And then he took out this long pink thing. Dull on one edge, dull on the other. Shaped like a banana. That'll be fine. I asked him if I could have another sniff of that stuff he had. And he gave me one. I got all tingly. Started to feel real gay. Like a gay blade. Some people call them queers. I call them gay blades. I got all warm inside. So I grabbed him by the throat. And I kissed him.
Please say hi to Vince Malamuth, who's going to play organ with us, John David's band.
How are you, Mr. Mayor?
We are here today to deliver a proclamation
Oh, wow.
with the official seal of Gooberville.
Gooberville?
And the town motto is home of double nets, double wides, and pride.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
And whereas, like all real men in Gooberville, the I-Man enjoys the company of a nubile, if not to say juvenile, lass. And we're all sure as Sunday that that pretty little girl, Miss Deidre, will grow up to be a real fine-looking woman.
Imus in the Morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
In Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's Fuzzy Zeller to sing now.
Well, I don't care what you think, but liberals stink, and Democrats almost as lame. All those Negroes and Jews, they give me the blues. Our country's dying, and Clinton's to blame. The monopsies are wrong, and they don't belong in my conservative-minded domain. But let's call a truce, stick your head in this noose, and don't let me hear you complain. 'Cause I like friends with white faces and a burning cross that you know chases those Jews away. Then we call it a day. Oh, we're mighty big on the master races. We wear slip-on sheets and pillowcases. Oh, I like friends with white faces. Well, I and my my peers. We don't tolerate queers. Show them what an axe handle's for. You wouldn't believe what we did to this. He painted swastikas on his front door. I'm proud as can be, 'cause the whole EIB think I could be president someday. But I'm just a man of letters, you see, and they all spell K-K-K. 'Cause I like friends with white faces and a burning cross that you know chases those ills away. Then we call it a day. Oh, we're mighty big on the master races. We wear slip-on sheets and pillowcases. Oh, I like friends with white faces.
If I'm white and I can't get down, got two left feet planted on the ground. I need some help if I do town. If I'm white and I can't get down,
Imus in the morning.
don't leave.
Broadcasters, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Paul Harvey.
Hello, Americans. Stand by for news, and as always, the rest of the story. And it's good to be here in one of my favorite states, North Carolina, live this morning. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Just a little Liggett and Myers humor. Say, did I say live? Well, isn't that part of the rest of the story today? Ellen DeGeneres is out. Is Jesse Helms alive? Goodness gracious me, are you glad that's over? Tuna lover? Ellen? They got it. Ellen clumping out of the closet in her rough-out Timberlands. What a to-do. Now, may I ask you one pertinent question? Did you really ask to be made an intimate of Ellen DeGeneres' sexual proclivities?
Well, no.
Was there really any burning need, Sappho's citizen, to put an entire nation on crotch watch like we were waiting for a new pope to be announced? Ellen, you keep your nose out of my business, and believe me, I'll keep mine out of yours. Page 2. You know something? Now, this is just between you and me, but here's something almost as intriguing, scandalmonger. Oh, woe is Joe. Kennedy lads, they're at it again. Do you think it's genetic that the Kennedy boys all carry a recessive gene that causes them to, well, in a manner of speaking, stroll to the liquor store with their pants around their ankles? Now it's Michael Kennedy, Congressman Joe's brother, showing a 14-year-old babysitter his own beanie baby. He blames it on alcohol. I blame it on him.
Yeah.
Now, individually, they may not match up yet, but collectively, taken as a whole, the Kennedys are putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Sounds like a knitting bee or something, doesn't it? Drown 1, fork 2, drown 1, fork 2. That'll be page 3. Page 3, and I guess we might as well continue a theme before we shut the file for the day. Jeff Smith, pots and pans man. Oh, sure, you know him. On TV, calls himself the frugal gourmet. Problem? When the yeast rises, story is, so does Chef Jeff. Now, 5 more fellows come forward to claim that they, a few years back, that they were dessert. What was that dish, Jeff? The Cub Scout turnovers with you on top? Oh, something else. Oh, dark day, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. The Hartford Whalers Hockey Club had been looking you folks over, thinking about coming down here to lose for a while, but your new stadium project abandoned. Now, as I hear it, while they certainly could have done one or the other, they couldn't figure a way to put 20,000 people and a hockey game in a double wide. Oh, before I run, just a thought for Ambassador McLaren and those boys defending liberty to the tune of Home on Deranged out there in West Texas. Remember, the Alamo, Waco, and Reno. Paul Harvey, good day.
I kept saying, I've never been in this kind of thing before.
Third-rate romance, low-rent rendezvous. Imus in the morning.
All right.
Keep it going now.
A chief who was a thief was known to cheat and lie. He fell prey to one too many allegations, more than he could ever deny. Baby, I said, baby, I feel your pain. Oh, baby, talker, baby, I feel your pain. One minute you the governor, next thing you know you're being arraigned. Little Mikey Kennedy playing himself the fool. 'Cause he playing around on his old lady, now he's living with ridicule. For messing with a chick he picked up in a nursery school. I said, baby, she's just a baby. Baby, I feel your pain. I said, baby, go, baby. Baby, I feel your pain. You can buy them champagne, and still they're gonna complain. Well, my friend Joe Kennedy, name is in disgrace. Ex-wife's getting medieval, 'cause he had their marriage erased. He asked me, hey, why do wives turn everything into a federal case? I said, baby, believe me, baby, I feel your pain. I said, baby, go, baby, I feel your pain. I tries to behave, but it's hard to abstain. Been there, done that, it's the same refrain. Sometimes I think it's gonna drive me insane. Baby, I feel your pain.
Live from the Governor's Mansion here in Little Rock, Arkansas, on the signal, KYSG 1037 FM. In the morning, Governor Mike Huckabee, Bill Vickery, Senator Tim Hutchins, 37 FM live in Little Rock. My brother, who can be, on occasion, amusing. Yes, he can. It just depends on what kind of mood he's in, even.
I had a suspicion over the weekend that you were going to be one of the top 25 influential people in the country. Because every time I called you, it would say you were in a meeting or if you weren't at your desk. Couldn't even get through, man.
What did you think De La Hoya won that fight?
No, I'll tell you, you made a good point earlier that he didn't win it enough to take Whitaker's title, that's for sure.
No.
It's a very astute observation from one of the 25 most influential people in the country.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Good morning, Howard.
Yeah, you know, Mr. Howard.
Yeah, no.
So you're one of the 25 most influential people in the country, huh?
Yeah.
Good thing Marshall Applewhite offed himself. Open up the spot for you. It's only fair. He may have influenced 38 other people to kill themselves. You inspire millions every day.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
When you go...
As you were. I have requested your attendance at this briefing today for the simple reason that you sorry individuals live in the single most putrefied part of the planet this old soldier has ever had the misfortune to see. Listen up, people. Pop quiz. 15 June 1836. Identify.
Sir, that's the date Arkansas joined the Union, sir.
Very good, soldier. And a day that will live in infamy. With apologies to Minister Huckabee, God almighty, what a mistake. People, it is time to neutralize the current presiding authority here and establish the Republic of Arkansas. You will no longer refer to me as General, but rather Ambassador Patton, because we're taking her back from the sons of bitches who left the 25th state dead pecker last out of 50 in any category you care to name, except, of course, indictments pending. Are you people with me?
Sir, we're with you, sir.
I can't hear you.
Sir, we're with you, sir.
That's more like it.
Let's go out and turn over some double wides.
Very good, soldier. Now, why does it fall to you and to me to embark upon on this difficult and dangerous mission?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
That was a rhetorical question, Private. You're not one of these goobers, are you? Don't answer that one either. The reason we have to do the job, people, is because they can't. Bill Clinton, don't make me laugh. Minister Huckabee, nice enough fella, but he got positively bitch-slapped in the legislature the other day. When all he heard was, "Hey, Huck, veto this." Humiliating. And so what we're left with as the pillars of power are the Rose Law and Shredding Firm, an arterial blockage waiting to happen named Doe's Eat Place, some Chinese joint whose owner is the subject of an Interpol search, that smartass with a green eye shade, Bill Vickery, a United States Senator named Tim. That inspires confidence, doesn't it? Senator Tim. David, what collateral Hale? The genocidal chicken choker Don Tyson. Dan Double Down Lassiter, best friend the First Lady ever had. And the individual who makes me think Marshall Applewhite did not die, James McDougal. These people are the kinds of reprobates presiding over a state whose citizens inflate the tires on their residences and whose highest legitimate source of income is soybeans and rice. What the hell is this place? Arkansas or Thailand?
Insensitive question, sir. Insensitive question.
Yes, you are, soldier, and I'm sorry. Be that as it may, people, it is time to act. Our rallying cry, give me Little Rock or give me... well, perhaps the coca plant import franchise over at that airstrip in Mena, now that I think about it. Arkansas, the Wonder State, as in, I wonder who's getting subpoenaed today. Thank you for your attention. Let's move out.
Let's see. What was we talking about? Restless people from a sick city. But they're home now to make the sky look pretty. What can I do? I'm just a person. This is the line that we always seem to hear. You just sit. Things get worse and watch TV and drink your beer. Imus in the morning.
It's Billy Bob Thornton.
I reckon you want to know what I'm doing here in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Sitting in a tent over by the governor's mansion. Well, I'm from Arkansas. Used to live in a little shed back of my mother's house, way before Minister Huckabee lived here, when the governor was a boy named Jim Guy. Some people call him the convicted felon. I call him Jim Guy. I tell you what, this mansion is a lot bigger than the shed I used to live in. But I guess where old Jim Guy's living now is a whole lot bigger than even this place. Must be because I hear people call it the big house. Well, it was a little while ago, I guess, when I used to work over at the Excelsior Hotel, helping folks with their bags, bringing breakfast to their rooms and such. One night I was supposed to bring champagne up at his suite. Well, I reckon I brought it up there. When I opened the door, I seen the governor. Not Jim Guy or Minister Huckabee, the other one. The one that's the president now.
Yeah.
The one they say might pretty soon be going to live with Jim Guy up at that big house. Well, I reckon he had his pants around his ankles. And he had his, I reckon he had his hog out. Some people call it a razorback. I call it a hog. Well, I just saw red. I guess because it was an Arkansas hog. He asked me what I thought about it. I said I liked it pretty good, being from Arkansas and all. So he looked at me, smiled, and said, "Kiss it."
15 after the hour. Billy Bob here on the Imus in the morning for you, live from Little Rock.
Mama, he's crazy, crazy over me. In my life is where he
home. Good morning. Mike Greenwood Sports. Steve Holman, the call. WSB in Atlanta. Hawks win the deciding Game 5, 84-79 over the Pistons at the Omni. There are reports that Piston coach Doug Collins may have coached his last game. The tightly wound Collins said to be not all that happy with the emotional roller coaster of being an NBA coach and may return to the TV booth. Not surprising considering the guys cried after games. Kind of a loose cannon out there. Good coach, but a very emotional man. A sensitive man. There's a new coach in town in Philadelphia, Larry Brown, former Pacers head coach, expected to be introduced to the Sixers media later today. Philadelphia forward Derek Coleman was asked for his thoughts about Brown taking over his team. Coleman not on it. Brown should have a lot of fun with this group. Derek Coleman, Allen Iverson, and Jerry loves his feel of Stackhouse.
What happened?
Well, okay. Try it and see what happens.
Whoop-de-damn-do.
Bernard knew exactly what was going on.
I guess. Good thing we played it.
Bernard the man. The other team eliminated.
Man, the wheels come off this thing this morning, haven't they?
Orlando Magic lose to the Heat in Miami, 91-83. He now will play the well-rested New York Knicks. Knicks guard Charlie Ward was asked if they can beat Miami.
You never know.
It's an honest, straightforward answer. The only kind you'll get from a Knickerbocker. Here you go. Meanwhile, there's some other NBA notes. Rick Pitino said to be this close, I meant, to taking the Celtics head coaching job. A $70 million contract, 10-year deal with part ownership for the team. And Larry Bird, this close to taking the Indiana Pacers head coaching job as well. That'll be his first coaching job at any level. So some big news coming up this week in the NBA. And that's sports. I'm Mike Brown.
Every morning at the mine, you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. And everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. Big John. Big John. Big bad Imus in the morning.
No, screwed my deal up totally. You have a big deal in the works? I haven't been able to get Katzenberg on the phone since Stern's movie stiffed. Yep. Doesn't want to hear from you. Stern's movie would have done a lot better. Deidre would have probably got a bigger part in Bo's movie. Well, she might have. I don't know. Well, why? Deidre was very happy. She had fun. Yeah, but I'm not happy. Had to fight off Stephen Baldwin to keep his hands off of her, but other than that. I don't know, these guys think that she's not going to come home and tell me, and then I'm not going to talk about it? Yeah, but they know you're not going to do anything about it, being that pansy wimp, butt face. I hit Stephen Baldwin so hard that I hurt one of them ugly brothers of his. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Damn right. Come on, baby. I'll bitch slap him. Let's go. All right, well, Fred. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. See you Saturday in Monument Valley. Maybe. I'll be there with a nut on a leash. Me, Dan, rather than Deidre in Monument Valley. Holy cow. Fred, 3 men and a baby. There's your movie.
And when she is froward, peevish, sullen, sour, and not obedient to his honest will, what is she but a foul, contending rebel and graceless traitor to her loving lord? I am ashamed that women are so simple to offer war when they should kneel for peace or seek for rule, supremacy, and sway when they are bound to serve, love, and obey. Imus in the morning.
All right, sir, give me your statement. Just a fact. Well, I had just looked.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports. Lakers on the attack. Kobe Bryant out front in the weave. Gives it to Eddie Jones to the left, top of the key. His pass stolen by Stockton. Ahead to Malone. Malone to the hoop and a dunk. The mailman, Dunk Shaq Fu. Good morning. Mike Greenwood Sports. Jim Durham the call on ESPN Radio. Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals goes to the tune of the Jazz. Utah beats the LA Lakers 93-77. Karl Malone won.
Yeah. The Lakers didn't look very good to me.
No, they're a little tired.
Yeah, tired.
Yeah. I'd be rooting for the Lakers in this one, by the way.
And why is that?
Well, because I'm
Why could you not root for Karl Malone and John Stockton?
Yeah. Because we're on KLAC in L.A., and that's a Lakers station. And I love Chick Hearn, by the way.
There you go. What's not to love about Chick Hearn?
Nothing.
Karl Malone
I wonder how old Chick Hearn is.
It's in his 70s. Didn't he start out as an Imus intern?
He's a play-by-play guy for the Lakers, Charles. You ever heard him?
Well, I know him well. Absolutely, I do.
He was the first guy to say, to designate from what point on the court players were shooting. 17 feet, 12 feet, 19 feet, 21.
It's a legend. Hall of Famer. Innovated.
They asked him how he knew. He said, I went out and measured. So I knew.
You're damn right.
But he's still great.
Put a tape on it. He hasn't missed a game in like 25 years.
No, but I mean, the point is, it's not like he's horrible. He's still terrific. So,
great chick card.
Yeah.
Karl Malone won the game, but he wasn't happy.
I'm looking, for something out of myself, and I ain't got it yet.
I wonder what he's looking for inside of himself.
I don't know. He's irritating.
Maybe he'll find it in game 2.
Do you have any interest in the Eddie Murphy thing? I'll tell you what made me think of that, because Karl Malone has a big 18-wheeler he drives around, and that just made the connection there. I'm not suggesting it. But Eddie Murphy, he wasn't really like at the newspaper, was he? I mean, am I just stupid?
A lot of Beverly Hills crap.
I mean, it's 4:45 in the morning, and he's not, he didn't pick this woman up to talk to her about her lifestyle.
No, he just simply wanted to counsel her, man. Don't you go around doing that?
Yeah, no. I'll tell you how little I care about this stuff, or how naive I am. Maybe a little of both. I actually believed Eddie Murphy. I mean, I thought, well, okay, that sounds plausible.
You're naive.
But that's just stupid, isn't it?
That he picked her up to talk to her about.
Or she looked like she was upset. He was going to give her a ride home or something.
He was on his way to church.
But that's just not the case at all, is it?
Early mass. I just don't know. It seems a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I'll pick that hoe up. Take her to church with me.
He's on his way to a friend's house with cable so he could watch you on MSNBC.
I don't know, man. Well, there's somebody who needs somebody like Deepak Chopra in his life.
Precisely. There you go.
He needs to read The Path to Love. That's the deal. He needs to read.
He needs a little counseling.
Hey, Pete Hamill will be here tomorrow, and it's not necessary for Mr. Hamill to appear on the program, but there's no way to avoid it, so. Because the book is just a wonderful book, Snow in August. I talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again this week because it is.
But he wants to come over, doesn't he? So.
Yes, he's insisting on coming over.
So there you go.
And we'll talk a little bit about his book, and then we'll start in on him about something. His weight, maybe, or whatever. Or the state of the Daily News. He's now the editor-in-chief of the New York Daily News.
And then quietly guide him toward the door.
Yeah, please get out. We're going to promote your book whether you come on or not. And, see, here's the thing I don't understand is when I really get all jacked up about a book, and it's seldom that I get this enthusiastic about a book as I am Snow in August.
Right.
There are a number of books that I like, but not a book like this that I think is extraordinary.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I think so. It is 25 till the hour, and we're right in the middle of
fine
Mike Breen's Sportscast. The only two people who we don't have to, when we're out on the road, who we don't have to signal for applause are Mike Breen and Fred Imus.
Yep.
The audience just spontaneously applauds for these two geeks.
Feel sorry for us.
You've been good lately, Breen.
You've been pretty good, too.
Shut up and finish your sports report.
Yesterday, Miami eliminates Orlando. Great scene during the game. Magic Center Danny Shays, his dad was at the game. Dolph Shays, who's 6'8" and is in his 60s, was sitting in the stands watching when the Heat mascot came by the Orlando cheering section and sprayed them with a water pistol, so Shays got up and punched the mascot and got ejected from his seat.
All right.
Dolph Shays,
don't need that.
Still feisty in his 60s, punched the mascot out. Good for him.
You can't be punching a mascot, can you?
He can't be spraying you with water during the game. This guy's been sued several times as Heat mascot. He's an idiot.
That's a provocation.
Goes over the line all the time.
with real water, not the Harlem Globetrotter.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. No, well, I'd punch him too, then.
Right. Scary moment in baseball yesterday from Cleveland, as described by Tom Hamilton of WKNR in Cleveland.
It's to Franco. He bangs it up the middle. He knocks Blair to the ground. He is still on the ground as the ball caroms back toward the catcher, Casanova. Franco with a single, but Blair is still on the ground. He took a shot to the face.
Tigers pitcher Willie Blair, in the midst of a shutout, hit by a line drive that was clocked at 107 miles per hour. Broke his jaw. He was down for about 5 minutes. The ambulance had to come in and take him away. But apparently he's going to be okay. He's in stable condition. May need some surgery, but very, very scary.
Who won the game?
Detroit won the game.
Oh, okay. I watched the Tyson Holyfield fight Saturday night. Did you see that?
No.
It was exactly the same way the last one did.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody really even cared about that one. Didn't get much pub.
Tyson rape anybody? Well, no, not
that we know of.
Not that we know of.
No. And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Hello, darling. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be. I miss
May is proud to introduce...
Turned 66 today. May's the most bitter retired athlete in the history of pro sports. The what? The most bitter retired athlete in the history of professional sports.
More bitter than Wilt?
Absolutely. It's not even close.
Maybe they won't make him wear his hat today. It's a security job.
No. That's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Coming up on 26 after the hour.
The bars are all...
Political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
And let's cut right to the chase. Imus in the morning. Much compels our attention. Now then, given my own career difficulties, I am normally reluctant to comment on those of others.
Yeah.
However, sometimes a certain threshold of urgency is crossed where I can no longer remain silent. And that's why I'm recommending, in the strongest possible terms today, that the National Institutes of Health immediately abandon placing warning labels on cigarettes and begin placing warning labels on Kennedys. Jesus. In my view, Dono, we'd solve half our society's sexual abuse ills if we could just get the damned Kennedys into Dick Morris's 12-step program. You know, hello, my name is Michael Kennedy, and baby fat is where it's at. What's up with this loser, huh?
Well,
And then his equally astute brother, Congressman Joe, who would be governor, glosses over Michael's behavior by saying, hey, it's a big family, so there's always going to be a few problems along the way. Making stooping the babysitter, as your columnist friend Maureen Dowd observed, a statistical fluke. I'll be governor of Massachusetts before this moron is. It just may be, though, Dono, that my Bay State friends aren't going to be sucked in by the Casanovas of Camelot much longer. Too much dark history with women. Drown one at Chappaquiddick, put one in a wheelchair when Joe flipped the Jeep at Nantucket, stigmatize one at the very least at the beach house in Florida, humiliate another one in this Joe versus Sheeler annulment sideshow, and now this little indiscretion involving Michael, which we might title, She's Watching the Baby, but Who's Watching Him? I would hope I knew that the answer is the electorate. Issue 2, Eddie Murphy. So he was picking up a transvestite hooker at 4:45 in the morning in a sex supermarket to counsel her, him, or whatever. A guy already busted by the Vice Squad in an oral sex episode, and Eddie Murphy expects us to swallow this? Bad term, my man. Sorry. The Edster thinks this jive is credible?
Well,
excuse me, Eddie, but that's a Beverly Hills cop-out. You get it? Beverly Hills? Okay. You might refer Eddie to some counseling, though, from your very fine guest, Deep-End Chopra, the doctor of love, who draws upon his Indian traditions for his philosophy. As do I, by the way. Early on, in fact, I employed Deepak Chopra's tradition. I bought a Slurpee and dumped about a pint of vodka in it and fed it to Pat, validating one of love's oldest, most universal, and most enduring principles, J.D. Candy's dandy, but liquor's quicker. And spoken like a true Kennedy. Ouch! A brief glance into the dick scope, my men. My scope, my opinion, my dick. That of a former president of the United States.
Richard Nixon here in the Imus May program. It's 2726. Till the hour, Pete Hamill, whose new novel,
To acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a liberal in the White House. Well, you got trouble. Right here I say trouble in the capital city. Why, sure, I'm opinionated. Mighty proud to say I said I'm mighty proud to say it. I consider that the words I speak and the truth they impart are golden. It's conservative horse sense. I got half my brain tied behind my back. Did you ever try and get a Democrat to debate and his platform folds up just like a tent? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and morality to lead this fine country of ours, I say that any fool can flush the whole thing down the toilet. And I call him Bill. The first false step on the road to the big white house there up on the hill, that liberal whine about health care from Hillary Rodham. And the next thing you know, your Bubba's saying he tried it but he didn't inhale. And we're listening to Mrs. Big Town Lawyer telling 60 Minutes she don't make cookies. Not a housewife, Hillary, no, but a dame who don't know when to shut up. Like to see some feminazi babe sitting in the Oval Office, make your blood boil? Well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 years of liberal twaddle. This country needs something different than a promiscuous pantaloon putz with a capital P and that rhymes with B and that stands for Bill. And all day long, you liberal politicians are frittering away. I say these bureaucrats be frittering away. Your base pay, net pay, sick pay too. Gotta raise them taxes. Never mind getting deficits reduced till the immigrants curbed till the economy started. And never mind the military budget till the commies are here and they're camping in your parlor on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Oh yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm frightened for the kids in the grammar schools, innocent young ones, thinking one day of voting Democratic. Trouble! In the capital city, trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with B, and it stands for Bill. Now, I know all you folks are my kind of people, so I'm gonna be perfectly clear. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes down between the liberals in the House and the Senate? They talk about taxes, socialized programs, setting up welfare states for indigent thieves, assault-type weapons. One fine day, they'll close the ghettos, sending all the gangs to the suburbs. Drug-dealing punks, cop-killing homies, and hip-hop. Shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter into the basest common denominator, interracial marriage. Friends, the idle brain is the liberals' trademark. Trouble. In the capital city. With a capital T and that rhymes with B and that stands for Bill. We've surely got trouble. In the capital city. Right here. Our kids are being led by an immoral imbecile. Our children gotta have trouble. Mothers of America, heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he automatically become politically correct? Is there a stain on his shirt from a bleeding heart? A saxophone hidden in the corn crib? Is he dropping trowel at church socials in front of the ladies' auxiliary? Are certain words creeping into his vocabulary? Words like entitlements. And I feel your pain. Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble. In the capital city. With a capital C and that rhymes with B and that stands for Bill. We've surely got trouble. In the capital city. This Arkansas Hicks turning our fruity plain into Hooterville. Our children gotta have trouble. We got trouble. We got terrible, terrible trouble. He's spooning out lukewarm liberal pap, and I've had my fill. Oh, yes, we got trouble. Yes, we got trouble. Big trouble. C. Gotta rhyme with B. And that stands for Bill. Mega Diddles, my friends. This is Rush Limbaugh with talent alone from God.
Do you want to build a bridge to the future big enough and strong enough for us all to walk across it together? Or do you want to say, there's the future, I hope you can get across it, good luck?
All right. How about a bridge to Leavenworth? You and your buck-tooth criminal wife. Get him out! That'll be enough.
Does that mean I can't count on your vote this November, Bernie? If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
What's the matter, O.J.? What is it?
They're trouble already.
Yeah.
The jury consists of 8 whites, 2 blacks, 1 Hispanic, and 1 man who is half Asian, half black.
A Chigro.
No, we don't need that. Jesus God.
Let's see, 12 people, 2.5 blacks, not guilty.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for the Imus in the Morning program tomorrow from 5:30 until 10.
Hey, Larry, why all the helicopters around your house?
Heads up, Mikey. We're unveiling an 80-foot statue of me.
Is this for your client, President?
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN. They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's Mike and the Mad Dog on the fan. Nothing can get by 'em, turn it on and try 'em. Mike and the Mad Dog, WFAN.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? The Mike and the Mad Dog radio program for a Tuesday in New York. Got a short show today, the 6th day of May, 1997. The Mets against the Rockies a little bit later on. We're at about 2:30 this afternoon. Mike has the afternoon off based on the shortness of this radio program, so we're taking 90 minutes. That's up.
Oh, no? Well, Citizen Inane, you might not think so, but you know who does? No. Your president. And not just stupid, but the possessor of a, well, gosh, a Senator Richard Shelby IQ. Measurable with a rain gauge. Yes, liar buyer, it appears that even though our president didn't inhale, he and his missus were nevertheless unconscious. I mean, out cold during much of their first term. Because even though old dear chum James Blair says he warned them way back when that it looked like Webb Hubbell was the worst kind of crook, a lawyer thief, it must have gone over their heads. Yeah. And when Blair Boy told them they'd have to jettison their Justice Department jello butt, and right now, neither of them were curious enough to ask, how come? So, goodness gracious me, neither Bill nor Hill knew just what kind of cow pie pile Webb had stepped in. That's our story. We're sticking to it. Well, Silo Sap, how stupid are you? How stupid am I? Bill, you didn't inhale, and we're not swallowing. Page 2. Well, incredulous elector, at least At least our commander-in-chief assures us that he's cooperating fully now. Cooperating fully. But had no idea Webb was in such a peck of trouble back when Lippo paid the hippo that initial $100,000. Cooperating fully as he fights to the...
Miami with the carjackers in shorts and New York Knicks. We're going to play the other thugs, the Miami Heat tonight. Right. And Warner Wolf is here this morning in a looks like about a $400 shirt and tie. Fabulous. I mean, just the shirt itself. But Warner looks great. Yeah. We're very happy to have Warner here. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Nissan. So, Rick Pitino becomes the highest-paid coach in sports history. Coach of the Celtics, 10-year deal, an average of $7 million per year. But according to Pitino, he didn't do it for the money.
The cynics will say, well, you're going to get a lot of money, but Kentucky would pay me anything I want. You don't, at this stage in my life, leave for money.
Like Kentucky would pay him $7 million.
I don't think so.
Come on!
Out of here.
The Kentucky players don't even make $7 million. NBA last night, game one. The Bulls down by 16 in the third quarter, came back, beat the Hawks 197 on Pippen's three-pointer with 45 seconds left. The Jazz beat the Lakers 103-101 on Antoine Carr's two foul shots with 2 seconds left. The Jazz lead 2 games to none.
You know, Michael Jordan, I don't think, scored a point in the fourth quarter.
No, third quarter. He came alive in the third quarter.
But he missed. He only took 3 or 4 shots in the fourth quarter.
Right.
He missed them.
That's right. Pippen did the job in the fourth quarter. That's right.
Downtown, there were just a few seconds left.
Yeah, those guys, they
find a way to win.
Yeah, second half. Yeah. That's it. Even against the Bullets.
Yep.
Yeah, second half.
Amazing. I like to watch Christian Leitner's shove around Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, love that.
Leitner's not afraid of anybody, is he?
Absolutely not. In your face.
Yeah, so and Rodman's just a creep. Did he get thrown out of the game?
Not thrown out, although it looked a little weak on the second technical.
Yeah, he and Mutombo were.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Right. Lakers' Nick Van Exel thought he was fouled by Karl Malone on his attempted three-pointer with 1 second left. Here's Malone.
He was there, so I took a swipe at it. And? I took a swipe at it, and I got the ball. And? I got the ball, yeah. That was a steal. What are you saying? What else?
That's it. Come on. He took a swipe at him. No foul.
Got the ball.
Stanley Cup, the Rangers beat the Devils 3-2, lead 2 games to 1. With 7.5 minutes to go, the Devils thought they tied the game. Play-by-play man Kenny Albert.
Niedermeyer shoots. Rick to the save. Down the rebound. It's blocked by Bukovo. Loose in front. They score. The Devils score on the power play and have tied the game at 3.
But no. Devils' Billy Guerin was in the crease. No goal.
Just barely in the crease.
Yeah, that's right.
Messier wouldn't whined about it to the officials, you know. And so that's why they denied he did. But
the in-the-crease rule is a good rule.
Yeah.
The problem is the rule makers didn't finish the rule. That's the problem.
Here we go.
It should say, no goal if the player who scores the goal is in the crease. Or no goal if any other player in the crease has contact with the goalie at the time of the goal.
Yeah, because this guy, whoever it was in the back of the crease.
Right.
His skate just happened to be in that little blue circle.
Guerin never touched him.
There was no interference. No, there wasn't.
Right.
So.
Just finish the rule. That's all. Red Wings beat the Ducks 5-3, lead 3 games to none. Baseball yanks over the Twins 7-2. Orioles beat the Angels 8-4. Ripken's grand slam.
You know what the real deal is with Patino, don't you? Well, the future's now. With the
future is now. Absolutely.
You can't wait around.
It's not yesterday. It's not in Kentucky. The future is now. With the Celtics now at this point.
Absolutely.
The Mets had 20 hits and lost.
What?
Rockies 12, Mets 11.
Oh, man.
And finally, in case you missed it, Riddick Bose ended his retirement over the weekend.
Yeah.
When he apparently got into a fight with his 35-year-old sister, Velma. Bose suffered a swollen lip, Velma a swollen eye. No truth to the rumor that Velma had a point taken away from her for a low blow, giving Bose a split decision. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
This morning, my jacuzzi wouldn't work, and the butler quit on me, man. Can you believe it? Jerk. Must have been my artistic temper when he couldn't take. How come nobody wants to give me a break? I got the blues right now. Mean and low. I'm as low as the heels of my alligator shoes. You should know how it feels to have these millionaires
tell you anything. Don't have guests on that won't give us information because it's very aggravating. Well, stay off your show. Don't aggravate the viewers. I understand that, but no, but I can't tell you how irritating it is. I know that. For people to come on the show and not give up any information. Just stay home. Don't pick up the telephone. There's nothing I can do about it. Take your own advice. Yeah.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
So you've got a pair of Nikes and a purple shroud on your blow-up doll. I woke up this morning and that's how it was. The last thing I remember is that she was in bed with me last night. Yeah. I get up and I find the applesauce on the coffee table, and this is what I wake up to.
Now you know what it's like to sleep with a corpse.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
In Paris resides the world's...
Observation and comment on headline issues of the day. From the hood, Imus in Washington, Snoop Doggy Dog.
We design, beware of the dog. Cold, open to the strength, as the ghetto pedagogue. Emphatic when it gets pragmatic. Can't curb Snoop Dogg when he get dogmatic. What's a big deal with Eddie Murphy? Stand back like Rodney King by the LAPD. Doing a good deed, giving a hoe a ride. Getting broadsided just cause the broad's cockeyed. News media awful quick to conjecture. When all the brother trying to do is give a reprobate a lecture. Situation's not the same as Hugh Grant's. It's a backlash for Eddie's homophobic stance. He's just a victim of circumstance. Cause he don't dance if there's a chance there's a bulge in the bitch's pants. Slow news week during the middle of May sweeps. They gotta sell some papers, so read them and weep. Yo, Eddie, that's wrong. You must have been delirious. Once you won the golden child, now ain't nobody wanna be trading places with you. Know what I'm saying, money? Ain't it strange how the NRA proposes? As their first VP, the man who was Moses. Neil Knox got a case of sour grapes. Losing to the guy from the planet of the apes. Now they lobbying with Charlton Heston. Good thing, cause the hoods like the scene from a West. Excuse me if it appear blasphemous, but if the Israelites had guns, wouldn't be no exodus. Don't mean the NRA ill will, cause like them I ain't no friend of Bill's. But when Moses first came down the hill, didn't one of them tablets say thou shalt not kill? Yo, Charlie. Yeah, it's me. I'm all for y'all getting busy with the NRA, cause I know you're gonna protect my constitutional right to bring a gun to a movie theater.
I reckon you wants to know what I'm doing in the middle of this whitewater deal. Well, back when I was living in this shed in Arkansas, this lady showed up one day. Came to find me by accident on one of her walks through the woods. Nice lady, pretty woman. She used to say my shed was probably the most out-the-way place in the whole world. She liked to come there from time to time, get away from all the problems. Turns out she was the governor's wife, so she had a whole mess of problems. Guess I liked her some. Told her I'd do anything to help her. One time she asked me if I'd mind much if she kept some of her papers in the shed with me. Billing records and such. Some people call it evidence. I call it billing records and such. Said she didn't have room to keep them at the governor's mansion. I reckon I did it for her. Eventually her husband got to be president, so I didn't see her for a real long time. And one day she shows up to the shed out the blue and says, Billy Bob, I need you to help me with something. Turns out there's this feller's got some information that'd be bad for her if it was made public. So I took this big airplane to Washington, I did. Met this feller. Vince was his name. Nice enough sort, seemed to be. But she seemed upset with him. So I reckon I killed him for her. Shot him upside the head and then drug his body out to this park so it wouldn't mess up her pretty carpets. Well, I went back to Arkansas. Didn't see her for a while. And the other day she shows up with some more boxes of papers. Notes they took from these conversations she had with the government attorneys. Some people call it more evidence. I call it notes they took from these conversations she had with the government attorneys. And she says, Billy Bob, don't give these to nobody. Not even if they tell you they got a subpoena. And I says, well, what if the president comes by and wants them? She puts her hand on my shoulder, looks me in the eye, smiles,
says, kill him.
Imus in the morning flashback.
Well, turn to your partner, James McDougal. Take a little risk and still be frugal. Hold it a while, call it escrow. Hillary's investments making that dough. Swing your partner, does he know? Won't hurt them if they don't know. Everybody on the left wheel, let's do the ride. What a whitewash, say goodnight. Here's your Madison guarantee. Vincent Foster, R.I.P. Move that body, he can't be found in the parking lot on the White House grounds. Over by the cannon, sneaking in the dark. Pushing up daisies there in the park. Whitewater could sink old Bubba's campaign. Sorry, Bill, I feel your pain. Run on your witness, line to the right, swear up and down they won't deny. Destruction of justice, oversight. Whitewater sidestep, say goodnight. Say, has anybody seen a suicide note? Now run around left, go back to his desk, grab them documents, make a mess, can afford an expose, shred them papers in the attaché. Now there ain't no evidence, grab your girl, swear innocence. Maggie Williams, chief of staff, girlfriend can pass a polygraph. With your partner, does he go? Won't hurt them if they don't know. Everybody on the left wheel, let's do the ride. White will say goodnight. Now a little Jew's harp. Bernie Nussbaum, Webster, Hummel, Justice Department giving them trouble. Briefcases empty, so's their head. Susan Thomas's roll out of bed. 17 phone calls cover your trail. Perjure yourself, you'll go to jail. As Sunel's on prone to fail, guess you should've learned how to inhale. Swing your partner, does he go? Won't hurt them, but they don't know. Obstruction of justice, oversight. Whitewater sidestep, say goodnight. Swing your partner, does he go? Won't hurt them if they don't know. Everybody on the left wheel, let's to the right. Whitewash, say goodnight. Robin on your witness, line to the right. Swear up and down, they won't indict. Obstruction of justice, oversight. Whitewater sidestep, say goodnight.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker, Mr. McConnell, distinguished members of the media and members of Congress, other distinguished guests, Mr. Cronkite, Mr. Iman. Let the historians note that I am the first president, perhaps the first citizen, ever to mention Walter Cronkite and Don Imus in the same sentence.